Welcome to Monster Monday. So we are going to cover Rutger Hauer and Kim Cattrall's Split Second. I was sent this Blu-ray, so thank you for sending this to me. And this is the uncut and HD remastered version from, I think, Germany. And it looks great. I mean, the transfer on this is fantastic. So I will attest to that. I can vouch for this transfer, and you can watch it in its original English version without the subtitles on. So it's region A, or it plays in my region A, typical American player. I don't know if it has no region. I can't find a region code on it, but it plays in America. I can assure you of that. So there you go. Now, this is one I'd never even heard of when this was sent to me. And so when I saw that it was Rutger Hauer, I saw that it was a monster movie. I was like, all right, fuck it. I can throw this on for Monster Monday at some point. Tonight felt as good a night as any. So this is a post-apocalyptic type world that's dealing with what they call global warming. Yeah, who made that shit up, right? It was interesting to hear, though. I didn't know global warming was talked about before that Inconvenient Truth documentary that Al Gore made. I was completely unaware that I thought that was like them kind of blowing the whistle on it. So the fact that this was mentioned, like global warming, like considerably before that, was shocking to me when I saw it. I was like, global warming, whoa, I don't know if I've ever heard that term as old as this movie is, So when that became a thing, I'm completely clueless to it, I guess. I'm sure scientists have been talking about it since the fucking 60s or 70s for all I know. But as far as like the everyday person, I never heard of the term pre Inconvenient Truth. But anyway, Kim Cattrall looks phenomenal in this. This is probably the hottest she ever looked to me. She's got this, real edgy, short black kind of bob with bangs, and she's got like an undercut where her sideburns have been taken real close, not shaved, but close. And it's fucking adorable, man. This is some great shit. This is some fucking old Vidal Sassoon type cut or something. This is super attractive on her, and we do get to see her tits in this, which is great. Not that we haven't seen them in Sex and the City enough, but this is back when she's probably in her early 30s. So, she looks even better. She's fucking beautiful in this movie. And she really just kind of plays the damsel in distress, if you will. And so he goes to this like nightclub in the beginning, and he comes up to the door, and I already knew I was gonna be in for a bit of a treat here when this dog comes out and barks at him, and he shows the dog the badge, and he's like, "I'm a cop, you asshole." Just him talking to that dog, and then he calls him an asshole again later, like 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later. It goes to the dog, and he keeps talking to the dog, because I'm assuming because he's psychic or something, which I really didn't even pick up on in the film that well. But regardless, he's sitting there, and he's talking to this dog, and he's talking to these kids and everything. So I guess that makes sense. But for a first time viewing, I was just really trying to take in all of the aesthetics and the way the film looked, and it's hard to pay attention to absolutely everything on your first viewing, especially when you're supposed to be sitting here talking about full spoiler discussion here. So, but yeah, so we get some like S&M type club here where he's got these girls who are shaking their titties around, so that's a plus. And then this girl in the bathroom gets her chest ripped open, and there's this monster who likes to eat hearts. I think the biggest issue I have with this movie is that they have such a cool looking villain, It looks straight up like fucking Venom from the Spider-Man comics. I'm just sitting there like, why not show this thing more? Like, I get, like, if you want to hold it and wait a while, like Predator or something, or, I mean, obviously Jaws is that perfect example, but this is more of like a humanoid type creature feature. And with Predator's shown the perfect amount. Like, once he's shown, then he's shown a good amount. And we really get to kind of relish in those practical effects and that that suit. But in this one, I mean, you probably see this thing for 30 seconds. I mean, at best. It's really bad, man. It's a shame because it looks fantastic. Now, maybe, budget, limited mobility. It was really hard and tried. I guess I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like why they wouldn't show it more, but I would assume it has to do with a budgetary constraint. I don't think it's a director's choice of like, oh, this is how much I want to show the fucking monster. That just doesn't work for me. So, anyway, let's see. But that's like my big issue. That's my big issue. Rutger Hauer's great, as usual. He plays the character you expect him to play. He's the tough as nails detective who takes shit from nobody and, is kind of the loose cannon cop in the company that everybody like fears except for like a couple guys who want to fight with him, and then he gets a partner that he doesn't want because he works alone. The typical setup of all of these movies. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a loner Dottie, a rebel. That kind of shit. But there's a lot of familiar faces in this movie, like a lot of them, and it was great to see all of them. One of them being Herman from Scrooged, or Sweet Pea from Sleepaway Camp 3. I love that guy. I forget what his name is, but he did die pretty recently, so that was sad, but I always love seeing him. And I like that when they're in this Rutger Hauer's apartment here. He has like a glass bookcase and it displaying his like arsenal. There's like ammo and like grenades and like an assault rifle, and they're all kind of just like haphazardly put in there, like kind of shoved in there. He's not even displaying it well. It's just like, and why it has to be glass and all that. It's just it's so silly, but it was pretty funny to me. I wasn't super into this at first. Like, I was like, okay, it looks really cool. I liked this premise, but I felt like it took a little while to get going. Like, even though we have this opening with the girl getting her heart ripped out, then from there, I just had this like 15-20 minute period where he was getting introduced to the partner that he didn't want, and then he was talking to Kim Cattrall, and she looked fantastic, sure, but I don't know. I wasn't connecting that much. But then him and his partner wasn't really doing it for me, but then him and his partner start to have some dialogue together and some of these things that they say, and when the partner kind of starts to lose it after he's been especially after he's been like injured by this thing, and he kind of starts getting crazy because like as soon as you become scratched or hurt by this thing, I guess you crave fucking like caffeine and shit. I don't know what's going on there, but regardless, and this has to do a lot with like astrology, like Scorpios and such, and then like the devil. So this thing's like this genetic hybrid thing that's like coming against like certain moon cycles to him being a Scorpio, but as I said, it's like the devil. It's all over the fucking place. It's like a genetic mutated monster movie mixed with a devil movie mixed with like an astrology movie. And it's mixed with a freaking like Lethal Weapon type of scenario. Like, put all those things together, and here you got this movie. So that's what I'm saying. It's like a hodgepodge. It's just kind of like throwing everything into the pot and seeing what comes out. That's the way this film feels when I was watching it. I was like, whoa, you have so many ideas in this movie. You're just kind of going everywhere with it, and I'm not sure if they're gelling correctly. But it's basically around the time when his partner Dick, whatever, he Dick, Dick, yeah, I made a joke about it because it's Durkistan. Look, I was making fun of it because I was like, it sounds like Durkistan or Durka Muhammad Ali Jihad from freaking Team America. I wrote it down somewhere. I'll find it. But when he tries to give him a massage, and then he just puts like a gun in his face, and he's like, hey, we're cops, don't fucking touch me, essentially. Yeah, Dick Durkin, there it is. Dick Durkin Muhammad Al Jihad. That's what I put down here. That's pretty funny. And I like that his partner gets blasted in the chest by this freaking creature's gun, and he just gets lifted up and thrown out the window. It's like that Quentin Tarantino Django Unchained scene where the chick gets pulled out of the room. The guy just goes flying. And I love when they go and he's basically, convinced his partner that this is like Satan and all this. Or he comes to the kind of conclusion on his own, but they go to like their captain, and they both are like on the same page of like, yeah, this is an astrological genetic hybrid devil. And the captain just gets so angry, and that's actually a really funny scene. He's like walking down the hallway, and he's just yelling at random people, and he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to put an APB out on? Does he have fucking horns too? And all that stuff. That was really, really funny. And then there's all this talk about how his partner gets laid every single night, and Rutger Hauer just cannot fucking wrap his head around it. He's just like jealous and pissed off and just kind of baffled and maybe almost impressed. So I thought that was funny how often they bring that up. You really get laid like every single day, and you run 5 miles in the morning. They just keep going on about this. It's pretty funny. And Rutger Hauer has these freaking nasty claw marks across his arm. Jesus Christ, that would not be attractive in the bedroom. I love that they scream Satan is in some deep shit because they're coming after him. That's some good stuff. There is, oh man, when they first see the monster and Dirk, I keep wanting to call him Dirk Diggler. Dick loses it, and he's like, we're gonna need some guns. We're gonna need some big fucking guns. We're gonna need some really big fucking guns. And then he like goes and he's talking to the guy who gives out the guns, and he's just like, I need this and I need this, and he's like, what are you fucking hunting, a Sherman tank? All that stuff is really good. I loved all that stuff. Just when they got over the top and they just started being more fun is when this film was starting to really land with me. And some of the lines were very, very good. And one of them being when Rutger Hauer is in the train with, it's a still train, but he's in this like train car with the monster, and the dude pops up overhead and he's like, get out, and Rutger Hauer's like, nice timing, and he just jumps out and he blows him up, and then they shock him, even though he grabs a fucking like live wire and he's running it through water, and he's like, shut it off and I'll tell you when to turn it on. It's like, but it's on right now. You're running with it right now while it's live, and you're running through water which is splashing up on. No, hell no. They killed this fucking monster. For how indestructible it seems to be in the beginning of the movie, they killed this monster way too fast. And I feel like this was a rush because of production. I just don't buy that this was the ending they had in mind. That they were going to show the thing for 1 second after all this setup of what it was going to be. And then they just, throw a bomb in a freaking thing, and then in a train car, and then go grab a live wire, just zap it, and then the thing jumps out, and there's just a open part in the thing's chest, and he grabs the heart, Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom style, Kali, and he grabs it, and he fucking like pulls it out, and then he shoots the thing, and then they just start shooting his body, and it's like blowing up, and it's like, dude, we just talked about how earlier this body was indestructible, but I guess without a heart it's not bulletproof anymore. I don't know. But it just feels, and I know that kind of sounds like a lot happened there, what I'm saying, but it all happens in like 10 seconds. Like, it happens so fast that you're like, how does this possibly, like, I don't understand why this was done so quick. But anyway, it really does look like Venom. It looks like Venom wearing the sunglasses, the freaking villain from Cyborg. You know, those like blockers that he has. It's like, but like paint spray painted black. If like Venom threw on a pair of those, that's what he looked like. And the music in this actually reminded me a decent amount of Cyborg. So that also kind of connects to that. And it's probably why I thought of that character. Yeah, I mean, that's basically all I got to say. You kind of get a happy ending with the two cops and Kim. But yeah, I mean, Rutger's great. There's some really good lines. There's some good chemistry between him and his partner once it gets going. There's a lack of monster, which is a huge downside. And Kim Cattrall looks fucking phenomenal in this movie. Just gorgeous. But yeah, and I really like all the interactions that they have with the other cops in the police station, and how much they don't like him and his tactics and his ways, of course. Much like Cobra, much like Lethal Weapon, much like every one of these, you know, down and out cops that just does things his way, plays by his own rules, you know, that kind of shit. I would have also liked them to maybe take and stick to maybe a specific direction with things. Like, it's you know, it's the second coming of Lucifer, or it's a genetic hybrid mutation from global warming, or, you know, just like pick one to go with as opposed to like trying to put them all together. So that would have been good. You know, show the monster more. We've said that enough. You know, explore Rutger Hauer's psychic abilities in this more. You know, as I said, like, I didn't even really pick up on that very well. So that, I just feel like that should have been much better explained. So yeah. But overall, it was a good time. And I would watch it again. I would watch it with somebody. You know, like, hey, what's a totally overlooked kind of sci-fi action horror? You know, maybe like something like a Predator, but like lower, you know, less talked about. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I got a few, and this would be one of them. So I could definitely see myself throwing this on for somebody. But really cool Blu-ray. Thank you for sending me a copy. And it looks great. So as I said, pick it up if this is a movie you dig and you're like, oh, is it worth the upgrade? 100%. This looks phenomenal. It looks crisp HD. So anyway, guys, let me know if you've seen it. Adios.